We're back. I apologize for the Wi-Fi malfunctions. We are back. Sorry about that, kids. I'm a soldier. I don't know what's going on with my internet, but we are back. I'm a fully functioning, powered internet. So hopefully you all can forgive me. And I like to, well, I'll wait till he, I don't know what was going on. No, 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 please, please. I'm looking now and I'm fully functioning, I'm full bore. So spread the word. I think we were getting upwards of 40 people, but what can I do? My internet is brutal, and I have checked into it. The fiber optic cable is not an option for me. In terms of Wi-Fi, there is no towers around here, so I have to almost kind of pick and choose when I go on. Um, and in some ways, although 7 p.m. is the best time for me Sunday nights, I'll assume that everyone in West Hollywood is home and their Wi-Fi is being used. So I do apologize. And I'm sorry to force anyone to watch Casey Armstrong's stream. I should super chat you guys money. I'm just a humble soldier of the streaming community. But I believe our problems are set. We back. I mean, took me 3 times. I will not do that again. I will the next time uh, do a tech test before going on air. I just, funny enough, watched Justin Hawkins talking about Ace Frehley's new song. I love Justin Hawkins. Now, that's kind of how I want my stream to look eventually once I get everything set up. Um, I like the setup. The camera looks good. The mic, is although I do have a very nice mic. I would love to comment on videos, but I would definitely need a producer of sorts for that. And then you got to pay them, obviously. But um, as they should be paid, I always believe in paying people for their time. But right now, I don't really make enough um, where I could bring on an assistant of sorts. Although I am seeing almost an increase in money uh, stream to stream. I'm going to wait, Nick, till I bring on an assistant or whatever you want to call it, a producer. Um, so I'm going to wait till ACDC comes in because he sent me a very nice super chat right before we went buck wild. So until then, I will read Your Uncle Stokes, $5. Let me thank you to that. Dabbleverse stuff is indeed tiresome. Pat is a genius of maintaining a distance balance between that environment and his own comedic creativity. That's thank you very much, your Uncle Stokes. Let me see if ACDC's chat is up there. Oh, it is not. Um, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, your Uncle Stokes. And I was just talking to my friend Maria about. Um, oh, before I get ACDC 5150, I'm going to try and remember the super chat. Don't send anything more. This is not some scam for me to get you to send it again. 4.99. I sent your shirt, your Secret Service shirt, to the Comedy Store. I am retired, living in Chicago. Thank you very much, ACDC, for always um, contributing, tipping. And thank you, your Uncle Stokes. Um, but I was telling my friend Maria, uh, because since I don't really talk about the Dabbleverse, she's like, "Well, how are you going to get people engaged if you're not going to talk about what everyone wants to talk about?" I'm trying to draw in wrestling fans into this, maybe some hockey fans, some movie fans, uh, and I'm trying to get subjects that will get people to not argue, but you want people to go back and forth. Like, if we talk wrestling, who's better, MJF or Seth Rollins, and then you know, um, because I think why Kevin is such a genius, he um, he encourages the trolls, and he knows a lot of people, probably 50% of the chat stream, want to talk shit to him, and they now know he won't read it unless you pay him, which makes them want to pay him even more. "Oh, you don't think I'm funnier than my brother Neil? $5." And then he knows someone will super chat another $5. "Oh, Kevin's way funnier than Neil." $5. And then have those guys argue back and forth at the same time super chatting. It's really amazing. I know you're a fashion guy and a rock guy. Do you collect vintage band shirts? I do. I try every concert I go to buy at least one T-shirt. And that's since, I mean, I wish I would have bought it. I don't remember if I bought a T-shirt at my very first concert, which was Springsteen at the Coliseum. But can you imagine how much that shirt would be worth now? Um, like my God, uh, like I have a Kiss shirt from my first Kiss concert. I have two Kiss shirts actually. 1991 Long Beach Arena Hot in the Shade tour. Kiss, Winger, and Slaughter, and I've been offered $1,000 for the white T-shirt. But interestingly enough, the black T-shirt to me is cooler because it's got metallic, the Kiss in metallic like silver. Um, no one seems to care about that. Yeah, I mean, Nick, that's kind of where I'm leaning to taking once I figure out the technical problems, um, which, right now living in West Hollywood, they may be with me until I move. But I would very much like to do a show in the vein of Justin Hawkins. I mean, you can tell that's his living room or basement or whatever. And I do like how now I can't play any instruments, but I do like how he'll pick up because he's a very good guitar player. That he'll pick up a guitar and like kind of take you through the song, like Ace's song 10,000 Volts, and there's like a theory and a logic behind what he says. I could do that with comic stuff. I mean, I'm sure I could make a fortune in super chats, um, like reviewing comedy specials. Um, but I don't like watching comedy, so that would be the problem with that. Um, Grimace and Pain, good evening. Kevin is a cash whore. but I don't blame him. People stupid enough to give hundreds. Why wouldn't he? I mean, that's not really why I'm in this. Um, we all have our own reasons. And as you can tell, I mean, I try and read 90% of the free chats. I do give, I guess, like everyone does, I do put the super chats in the front of the line because I do appreciate people paying to ask me a question or comment on something. Um, but I'm not really in. I'm not looking at super chats or memberships or I know I'm pretty close to 4,000 hours. Like the money, I guess you could put ads in your or videos and whatnot. And my shorts do okay. So I don't think you're going to be rich, but um, I'm just trying to build up my name, build up the YouTube channel because that's just how my business works. You could be the funniest person in the world, but if you don't have much of a following, people don't care. Like I'm really funny. Are there funnier? Absolutely. But um, people just don't care. They want to know what else do you bring to the table. Um, probably is Uncle Stokes, but it was a great show. I mean, I remember. I think King Cobra was supposed to be on the tour, but Slaughter was really hot in '91. I mean, they were at their peak uh, from a marketability standpoint. And then Winger was pretty hot. They had, She's Only 17 and Miles Away and Mandolin. Uh, and then, Kiss was in a very interesting position back then. I mean, they were up and down in the age. They were hot with Lick It Up, Animalize, Asylum, and then the Crazy Nights tour was kind of, from what I understand, a financial disaster. And then, Hot in the Shade was next, which Hot in the Shade was basically an album full of demos. But the tour did decent. Um, I mean, the show I was at was packed. Now it was in Long Beach. They didn't even bother playing Los Angeles. So that's probably an indicator that that tour wasn't killing it either. I think it started, I don't know why I know this, but it started in Lubbock. And then, Revenge, um, when I saw the Revenge tour, that was in San Bernardino, like, that's, like, brutal. Uh, yeah, yeah, I mean, I keep any Kiss T-shirt, Munch. Is that my friend Munch the comic, or is that another Munch? Yeah, oh, no, I know, Chris, you are right in terms of the ad revenue. I mean, I'm not expecting to make millions, but, I'm sure, and I don't really have videos that kill it, to be honest with you, but, it's a couple $100 a month. I would, pay for my homeowner's dues or something. Yes, I love that song, Never Say Die. Great video, William, with, I know you know this, Louis Gossett Jr. Uh, playing Chappie Sinclair, getting the band Iron Eagle into flying shape. Never say die, Iron Eagle, never look back. Never say die, never say die, oh, Iron Eagle. And interesting, I don't want to talk too much about sex change stuff. Can I even say the T word in here? I really don't want to get booted. But Mark Free, the singer from King Cobra, who had a great voice, has a great voice. Yeah, he is now Marcy Free, fully changed. If you know what I'm saying. I don't want to get booted. So, um, um, did you ever almost say screw it and go the Dirk Diggler route? My dick's not that big. What up, Chicano dude? I saw Kiss with Ace a bunch. I mean, when I saw them with Ace, he was pretty drunk. Like the last couple times. Oh yeah, I mean Wingers, ACDC 5150. And thank you again for the super chat from the last stream. Um, That is gone. It's not gone. I'll leave that up. The second attempt is gone because there's only 1 minute. But thank you very much, as always. Yeah, I mean, Winger has a band. Is a great band. I mean, look at Red Beach can play anything Van Halen can play, and then you've got Rod Morgenstein on drums. He was like a jazz fusion drummer. Like, and Kip Winger. I mean, the guy gets shit on because he's good looking, but he's a great bass player. And was it Paul? Who was on keyboards? Was it Paul Taylor? If I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I don't fuck up my Wi-Fi and uh, looking up who was in the band Winger. I'm trying to beat William Zoom to the punch because I know he probably already knows. Um, Paul Taylor, yes, keyboard. So the original Winger was Kip Winger, Red Beach, Rod Morgenstein, Paul Taylor, um, and then they had a couple members rotating in and out. Bass is underrated. Um, allegedly, but also real. $2. Thank you very much. What about the band Bitch? Be My Slave. Was never into them. Uh, thank you, Brittany. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know that I'm only really 2 weeks into monetized streaming, so I'm not looking at the numbers quite yet. I mean, I know I've been streaming for a couple months, but in terms of like, okay, now he's monetized. If he's funny, we'll tip him. If not, we'll watch Stuttering John or whatever. Um, well, Munch, I just wanted to make sure. What about the Great Cat? I don't know who that is. Ernest Miller from WCW. Michael Bowen was great. At being a prick, William. I mean, a lot of people would primarily know him from Valley Girl. He was also kind of a small part, but pretty good in Less Than Zero, and in a lot of things. I mean, he's a typical character actor, and he recently was in my favorite TV show of the last, say, 5 years. Um, Chandler got me into it. Was Animal Kingdom. He played one of Pope's prison friends, and I don't know about that AC/DC, but I'm gonna have to listen to "Never Say Die" by Black Sabbath because that song, I don't believe I've ever heard that song. I was never a big Sabbath fan. My favorite Sabbath song, and no one will say this, is when Glenn Hughes thing. No, is it "No Stranger to Love" or "Stranger to Love"? It's such a pretty song, but it's really not Black Sabbath. I mean, the record company forced Tony Iommi to call it Black Sabbath, or they weren't going to release the album. So I think Dan Spitz on bass, Glenn Hughes on vocals, Eric Singer on drums, if I'm not mistaken. Danger Danger opened for Alice Cooper. I couldn't wait for them to get off the stage. The Coop was amazing. He also did "I Got a Line on You" from the Iron Eagles. Oh, wow, that's a rare one. I like Danger Danger. Well, to be honest with you, I only like that one song, "Bang Bang." Bang, bang, what's that sound? You're giving it up until you hit the ground. Good lyric, it's a good cheesy 80s. Give me a burger with some of that cheese. A better guitar solo. AC/DC 5150, better guitar solo. Mellow solo. Wanted Man or, oh, I'm sorry, Wanted Dead or Alive or Home Sweet Home. That's a tough one. Uh, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, I'll go with Wanted Dead or Alive. I mean, it's tough. I mean, that's prime Richie Sambora, prime Mick Mars. So um, that's a good question. Did you ever watch the Young Ones? I did not when Santos won. Yeah, Nino Bettencourt. He's also like in that Kip Winger mode where he was such a good looking guy that he never really gets the credit for his playing. But he's another one who could play anything. Um, Earl, did you ever mount your Walkman to your leg? William Zoom. No, I pretty much had the belt clip. The Seventh Star. That was Glenn Hughes singing, right? Because they had a lot of turmoil with that band between Seventh Star and Eternal Idol. You know, they had like three singers. I think Glenn Hughes got into a fight and someone punched him in the basically the Adam's apple, so he had to quit singing. And then they had Ray Gillen come in, and he sang, I think, all of Eternal Idol, and then he got kicked out of the band for some reason. And then they brought in, I believe, Tony Martin. Uh, so you know, yeah, I mean, Dio is like I remember one time when I was dating someone in the Motorhead camp, and at Long Beach Arena, it was I think it was Motorhead, Iron Maiden, and Dio, and that was the night I snuck Chris Holmes backstage because he couldn't get back there. It is kind of cool to have an all access pass at a show like that. You can just go anywhere, like anywhere. You can do whatever you want. Um, and I was like, "Hi, Chris Holmes from Wasp. I'm escorting him." And then he bought me a hot dog. Um, I'm like, "Dude, they're free. You don't have to buy it." And then I had to kick Don Dawkins out of Motorhead's dressing room because he was drinking Lemmy's beer. And I'm like, "Hey, bro," like I knew who he was, but I didn't let him know. And he's like, "Oh, Lemmy told me to." I'm like, "Trust me, I know Lemmy. He didn't tell you to drink his booze." Um, yes, hit the like button. Oh wow, everyone is. Thank you, Dottie Three Rips. ACDC 5150, Danger, Danger, teasing and pleasing. I mean, they wrote some catchy tunes. I mean, they just got there a little late to the party, and they didn't really have an image. Like they were kind of like a prettier version of Trickster. Just that was right in the era of Poison and Def Leppard and Kiss looking like different versions of B. Arthur, and like it was a wild time back then. And so when bands like Danger Danger, Bang Tango, I would even hesitate to say Britney Fox because they weren't the best looking group of guys either. It was like, ooh, a Megadeth, but it's a different genre. But because Marty Freeman and Jason Becker when they played together back in the day, yeah, I mean that's a twosome. Uh, so William Zoom, not many comics can say they kicked Dawkins out of Lemmy's dressing room. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, I walked back there because someone said, "Hey, someone just went in Motorhead's dressing room, and I think they're a rocker, but Skakel, you'll know who they are." So I go back there, and in the bowels of the Long Beach Arena, and I see Don Dawkins like going into the beer cooler container, and I'm like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" And he kind of jumped up. He's like, "Oh man, it's cool, man. Let me said it's cool, man." I'm like, "Well, no one's allowed back here." And he's like, "I'm Don Dawkins." I'm like, "I know Mr. Dawkins, like, but I can't have you back here." And I lied. I said, "Or else I can get fired." So um, that's a cool story if you know who Don Dawkins is. Trickster, Give It to Me Good. I mean, that's my favorite song of theirs. Now, hey, hey, mama. That's the only words I know. And I met, who was it? It was Steve Brown was at the Comedy Store one night, and I just did a bunch of comedy joke or 80s metal jokes, and he was laughing his ass off. Um, and yes, I agree, Dominic. Um, Motorhead was really maybe the only band in the history of music that never changed their sound from the first album to the second album or to the last album. Like they literally, you could put a song off of Motorhead's last album. I forget what it was. I want to say Inferno, but I might be off on that because once I stopped dating Shelly, I kind of checked out of the Motorhead world until, ironically enough, when Lemmy died, Shelly called me up, and it had been a few years since we had spoken. She's like, "Hey, there's a lot of '80s metal guys coming to this funeral. You're the only one I know who's going to know who they are and where to sit them." So that got me and Shelly to talking again, and then so Lemmy's funeral was obviously done by Motorhead's management and Wendy Dio, and I did such a good job as an usher at the funeral that when Jimmy Bain, the bass player from Dio's band, died. I thought so, Dominic. Thank you. Wendy Dio says to Shelley, "Hey, can you get that ex-boyfriend of yours back here? Because it's going to be pretty much the same crowd." And I remember Jimmy Bain in the coffin had like the nicest, like looked like a Barbados style jacket on. So when no one was looking, I was trying to see the label. I was like literally touching his dead head, going, "It's custom made. Good for you, Jimmy Bain." Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think William. He would have kicked me out of the dressing room if I said that. Shotgun Messiah was another one, late to the party, Sheriff Numbskull, Saigon Kick. They had that one song, Love Is on the Way, that was, kind of a loose hit, but it, just late to the party. Wild Side was a band I really liked. Um, uh, they just, because they had a couple catchy songs. And I think one of the early episodes of Inappropriate Earl, if you look it up, Drew Hanna, the singer, came on. They had a really good ballad called, "Just Another Night." I'll maybe sing a little bit for you to make up for all my internet problems. Outside my window, the rain begins to fall. Memories of you and me, we had it all. Now that you're gone, it doesn't seem the same. Can't mend my broken heart, can't heal the pain. Ooh, in my heart you will always be. Ooh, in my bed I feel you close to me. I remember times being in love like fools, the way it used to be. We couldn't lose the day you said goodbye, the words you said to me. Never been so hurt inside so easily. All right, that's enough. Firehouse said, "You're a little late to the party too," to be completely honest. But they came in just at the end, with "Don't Treat Me Bad," which I love, and I think love is a lifetime, love of a lifetime. Um, yeah, who I mean, there were so many bands. Trying to, any band that really came out. I mean, the bands that came out in '90, like Slaughter and stuff like that, they got there just at the end. And then, I mean, Warrant got there probably at the peak of '80s glam, so they survived a little longer than most. But bands like Wild Side and I mean, Tesla was there a little bit before those bands, but um, they weren't not a good-looking group of guys, so they didn't really fit in with all the MTV stuff. Yes, Sunday, Skakeloki. I did I see a question? How come I never let Boone use my bathtub? Out of control, dude. I'm still trying to get all the pop-ups off my computer, Garnett, from that illegal stream you sent me last night. Um, let me hold on. Let me see. There was a question. Big Earl, what's your favorite '80s pop act? I mean, the Cars, the early '80s, and then that's why I like the Kiss album Unmasked. Um, and I agree with you, AC/DC 5150, Lynch is awesome. Um, I got some pipes if I could sing it. Another good Wild Side song is Just Another Night. That's a good bop. I love Axel, but yeah, with GNR only. Absolutely. AC/DC 5150. Tesla was talented, William, but they just were not a good looking group of guys. So, like, I'm sure MTV execs were looking at a Poison video and a Tesla video going, Poison. Um, yeah, I mean, Kiss Unplugged was good. I mean, I don't know if I would have just done it with the original guys because it just kind of I felt bad for Eric and Bruce because, especially when Ace and Peter got up there, it was just like, okay, what are you guys doing up there? Even though they were much better musicians. I do like that. Speaking of the Justin Hawkins show, I do like that new Ace Frehley song that he critiqued. Yeah, I mean, you are right on that AC/DC. I know William, but Garnett is a trusted. He is in the Earl Army. He is a general in the Earl Army. So I've actually met him in person. So only successful bands AC/DC 5150 that change singers is Van Halen and AC/DC, which ironically are my favorite top two. Yeah, I mean, I would almost. I mean, well, Gary Sharon wasn't really successful in Van Halen, but I do like that album. And AC/DC, what can you do? I mean, Bon Scott dies. I mean, it's not like he left the band to do a solo career. I'm trying to think of any other bands. I'm trying to think of bands today that if the singer left, could they continue? Like the Killers are so identified with Brendan Flowers. I don't know if another singer could take his spot. Weezer, I don't know if they would work if another singer took Rivers Cuomo's spot because he's kind of like the brains of the band. Well, I guess Iron Maiden made it. I mean, uh, AC/DC 5150. I mean, if you count that, and Judas Priest had a singer before Rob Halford, so I guess you could throw those two bands in. Uh, I do like Wildside. They just came in too late to the party. And their guitar player Brent Woods gets constant work. So yeah, you're right on that, Dominic. Ben Bones Jones. I loved Creatures of the Night. It's a little disjointed with all the guitar players on it. Ironically enough, Ace wasn't on that album, but he's on the cover. I mean, the guitar players on that album, I believe, and I'm guessing, I believe were Vinnie Vincent. I think did 3 songs. I think the guy from Mister, I think was on a song. Steve Farish, is that right? I think. I mean, there were so many guitar players on that album. It's almost as bad as Chinese Democracy. I don't even think Kiss remembers because this was also done at the time they were auditioning replacements for Ace. And I think I want to believe Robin Crosby auditioned for Kiss. That would have been interesting, but I think he was too good looking to be in the band. Yes, you are right, Ben Jones. Hello, Lulu. It's always good to see a woman. I don't watch the goddamn Comedy Jam. I'm not going to watch a show I should be on. I mean, I liked Chinese Democracy. I don't think it's a Guns N' Roses album. It's just like it's an album with a lot of good players. It's almost like a Guns N' Roses tribute album. I mean, I think that album had that album literally took like 12 years to record. So who knows who played on it? To be honest with you. Um, so I mean, yeah, you're right. AC/DC 5150. I mean, Tesla's a very good band, but they would have been killing it in the 70s where it was a little more about the music and not so much about your looks. Like Boston, was not a great looking band. I mean, the drummer looked like Epstein from Welcome Back Kotter, the singer, Brad Delp, one of the greatest singers of all time. Tom Schatz looked, I don't know, bad skin and too skinny, but they killed it. But yeah, Pink Floyd's another band. Well, I like Scott, the bass player now, Stagwar, but I get the feeling that much like Brandon Flowers, Rivers Cuomo is probably hard to work with from the standpoint of, hey, it's basically my band. You guys just do what I tell you. So I could see, it's like the guitar player from the Killers, Dave Koenig. He helped co-found the band with Brendan, but I think he's left the band and over the years, just like, "Hey, man, I want some of my songs to be played too." That guy I respect, man. You walk away from the Killers, like, not many musicians would do that. And I met him at the Laugh Factory in San Diego, and he's so fucking nice. What do you think of Steel Panther? They have some funny songs, but it does get repetitive. Sheriff Numbskull. Uh, I did a podcast with Dean Del Rey where we interviewed uh, Ralph Saines, David Lee Ralph, is what I call him. Because I knew him from the Van Halen tribute band Atomic Punks. I like them. I mean, I like when they do the not the tribute songs, but the covers, because they'll play like a Poison song and play it as good as Poison does. Because the band's super tight. You've got uh, the guitar player Russ. He was in Rob Halford's Fight. And Ralph is a great vocalist, and the drummer. I forget what band he was in, but he came from an actual legit band, and I don't know much about Lexi Starr, the longtime bass player, but he's not in the band anymore. But like, it's a good band. I do think that it does get a little repetitive in terms of the songs. Um, pussy, pussy, pussy. But I've seen them live. I mean, I saw them live with Chandler. Because she knows Ralph. We were at the Anaheim House of Blues, and you couldn't have put another person in this building. It was so crowded. And their merch was pretty funny. They had a great shirt called Pussy. It was a girl of a it was a black t-shirt with a girl bending over and above her ass, and said "Pussy Melter." And I'm like, "Hey, I'll take that in a large." He's like, "Dude, the guy behind the merch booth, we sold out of that 2 hours ago." Uh, so there you go. Yeah, I'm an AC/DC fan. I like their bigger hits, "You Shook Me All Night Long," "Dirty Deeds," "Who Made Who," "Money Talks." I kind of checked out of their last couple albums, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of people checked out of Kiss after Ace and Peter left, but I don't think Kiss would have continued in the '80s with Ace and Peter. Because you hear Ace play the '80s stuff like "Heaven's on Fire." I mean, he plays the song, but it sounds better when really anyone from Bruce, Vinny, or Mark play it. But Mark's dead, so there you go. I will say, if you want to hear Mark St. John live, check out the Kiss does a thing live off the soundboard, and they did their most recent release was Kiss live from Poughkeepsie, and it's the only show Mark St. John played full show from Poughkeepsie, New York. It's pretty good, although they weren't, I don't think, ever planning on releasing this album, so they um, Rock and Roll All Night cuts off towards the right after the guitar solo, like it just stops. And then another song, I think it might have been Fits Like a Glove, um, loops because they ran out of tape. So Kip Winger was so gorgeous and headed for a heartbreak. Lulu, he still is. David Lee Ralph, yes, that is my nickname for him. And he was great. Like, I wanted to have an actual serious interview with this guy because he's got a good musical history. And he was in character. That's Lois barking. He was in character the whole interview. Like, he wouldn't answer any of my questions. He just talked about how much pussy he got. It's good, but he pulled up in a brand new Cadillac. So, like, I don't, Steel Panther probably makes more money than most of the bands that they cover. Yeah, Lexi Fox quit. I mean, I'm sure it's a great gig, Steel Panther, but I'm sure it's also like almost like Dave Kooning from the Killers. Like, hey, I want to play original shit. And I want to do more than just play Rats round and round, and. But I'm sure the money he made was pretty good. I mean, those guys all make six figures because they sell out every venue that they play. There's Lois in the background. She's about to get some water. I never was a fan of Megadeth. Um, I mean, I think Ace is a sloppy guitar player, but he's like a jammer. Um, I mean, if you really want to break it down from just a technical um, rating of the Kiss guitar players, I would say Bruce Kulick is the best overall guitar player. I would say Vinnie Vincent was the second best technical player. I would say Mark St. John is ahead of Ace in terms of technical ability. But the coolest Kiss guitar player is Ace, and then everybody else. Um, I mean, people don't really listen to Kiss for the technical virtuoso stuff. Saint Ranger, 1959. Howdy, all from Pam and I. Earl, it's always nice to see you online. Well, you came in at the right time, Saint Ranger, because the early part of this stream was rife with difficulty. I think I had to start it 3 times. So you can't. Sometimes it's better to come in late on my show. I mean, Jay, I don't know what Well, I think back then you had to play your instruments. Like if I mentioned the band Boston. You know, you had to be proficient. You know, whereas now everything's auto tune and Pro Tools, and it's just not. It's not really about the music. It's about the sound. Crystal clear optics. So I don't. No, Lois is. She don't like it. She don't like to be on the stream. Ace is a drunk, so he does play sloppy, but his writing is great. Well, I don't know if it's his writing. I mean, but like I said, I was telling someone asked me the other day, might have been in the stream or might have been at the gym. They were like, um, name the 5 most influential guitar players. And I was like, okay, well, Hendrix, Van Halen, probably Stevie Ray Vaughan in terms of that, Chuck Berry. And I said Ace Frehley, and they're like, Ace Frehley doesn't belong in the top 5 guitar players of all time list. What That wasn't your question, but any guitar player from any famous band from say the '80s to really now picked up a guitar because of Ace. Dave Grohl. I mean, really every guitar player in the Foo Fighters. I mean, Dave from the Killers told me that Kiss was really one of the first bands he started listening to, and uh, Weezer, I'm sure, Rivers Como, and drawing a blank on the lead guitar player, Kurt. Something. I'm sure they grew up Kiss fans. I mean, Tony Iommi. Yeah, I mean, we. I'm not saying my list is perfect. I mean, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton. Um, there's many guitar players who influenced people. Yeah, Angus Young, is very influential. I'm sure Slash looked at an AC/DC video. Oh my god! I mean, why do you think Slash plays a Les Paul? It's because of Ace. Um, I mean, Jeff Beck's amazing. Um, but I mean, though, I'm just picking those names. My top 5. Everyone picked up a guitar because of Ace. From my generation, and Hendrix and Steve Stevens is another guy who has influenced a lot of guitar players. Uh, yeah, I mean, you're probably right on that, Dominic. I mean, Kiss, musically they may not be like Dream Theater, but there's no doubt that they inspired, guitar playing anyway. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I bet you a lot of bass players picked up the bass because of Gene Simmons. Hey, I want to be that cool. Um, yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, I'd rather listen to Ace Frehley play than anything from Dream Theater. And I don't think Ace Frehley could play a Dream Theater song, to be honest with you. Um, Yeah, I met him a few times, AC/DC, yeah, I mean, Elliot Easton, he was kind of a dick to me, AC/DC, but maybe he had a bad night, but, I met him a few times. Um, I mean, this Steve Stevens is, like, so underrated. Um, look up his, instrumental work from, Top Gun. Uh, that's, I'm getting a phone call right now. I think it's someone in stream. Let me pick it up. I'm on a stream right now. I'm pretty sure I know who this is. Hello. Who else would it be, bro? I'm on a stream right now. I'm doing business. What is that? All right, I'll talk to you. I can't talk to someone on the phone. I'm on the stream. Go to youtube.com. Okay, well, I can't, help that. Let me confirm. Let me confirm that before I report the news. I love you, whoever this is. I'm hanging up, but it's out of respect. I don't know who that is. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is scary that a fan has figured out my home phone number, but I'll still take the call. I don't think Jeff Ross has the balls to call in. Yeah, who's Danny Gatton? I don't know who that is. Stagwar. Steve Lukather is the guy. Like, I just bought his biography. I want to read it. I mean, that's a guy who's played with everybody. Um, George Lynch, Ingve Malmsteen, if you like the speed metal, stuff. Kirk Hammett is someone who, um, how many people has he influenced? With how big Metallica was. Springsteen's a good guitar player. You never hear Bruce Springsteen thought of as a great guitar player, but like, could Bruce Springsteen play Eruption? You could probably try. Randy Rhoads, obviously. Mick Mars. I mean, there's so many. Warren DeMartini from Rat. You never really hear his name. Um, yeah, Grimace and Pain. Scott Travis from Judas Priest on drums from Racer X. I mean, there's so many. Prince. We could go on. Roy Clark. If you want to go, the country western. His picking method is really, fantastic. Slash is, how many people has he influenced just for the cool vibe? Keith Richards, Ron Wood, Mustaine. Well, I think there was so much anger in Mustaine at that time that the first Megadeth album was really um, him wanting to prove himself. So, I mean, a lot of great country players. I mean, Jerry Reed, he's really only known for, the theme song from Smokey and the Bandit, but, you know, he could play, you know. And then, you get into some of the jazz guitar players. I mean, you talk about, um, you know, technical precision. Um, it's pretty impressive. Um, I mean, there's literally probably 100 guitar players you can name that have influenced people. Once you start taking the genres. Um, I'm trying to think of I mean, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I mean, Hollywood Hogan was a good guitar player for sure. Your Rocky George from Suicidal Tendencies. You never really hear his name, but he was really he was interested because he came into Suicidal Tendencies and tried to give them a lot of rock and roll vibe, which before they were like very thrash. Um, so a lot of the hardcore Suicidal Tendencies people don't really dig Rocky George because they're like, he's trying to make this sound like, you know, Judas Priest or something. We don't want that. The KK Downing and Glenn Tipton, Jerry Reed and Glenn Campbell. Yeah, Glenn Campbell is you don't think Van Halen and Glenn Campbell, what? But like Glenn Campbell could play. Kevin, we could go on. I mean, this could be well, I used to play hockey with him on Sunday nights, and Rocky George, that is. Mark Knopfler, like, I mean, you could really, we could, I mean, some of Alice Cooper's guitar players, from the original guys from the 70s. And I love Kane Roberts. Am I saying Kane Roberts is one of the greatest guitar players of all time? No, but I mean, he could play. But he didn't really get the credit because of how he looked, the Rambo, the body, giant, jacked um, dude. But like when you break down his playing, it's like, oh wow. Anita Strauss, two-time appearances on the Inappropriate Earl podcast. Yeah, the Rambo guitar um, was quite fun to watch. Let me just thank the fan funding. Thank you, your Uncle Stokes, for your $5 super chat. Allegedly, but not real. Thank you. And thank you for ACDC 5150 on my aborted chat. Um, it's like to always make sure that people who tip are acknowledged several times. Did you watch the Sting Flair Anderson 6-man tag? Did you send that to me on Instagram, Staggy? I have not watched it yet. See, I could lie to you and say, yeah, I watched it. It was great, man. Um, but I will when I'm done here. I got to take Lois for a walk after this stream. And once again, apologies for the rough start. Um, I know Hendrix opening up for the Monkees. I mean, Uh, I'm trying to think of other guitar players who are kind of overlooked. Um, Vernon Reid, Living Color. They never get credit for being great musicians, but when because the body glove outfits and shit. Um, Thank you, Stagwar. Lulu Bell, welcome to the Bonzo Berry level of being a member of the Earl Skakel, maybe the worst stream on the internet, technical wise. I'm like the Ace Frehley of streamers. I have virtually no technical ability, but people love me still. Thank you, Lulu. Welcome aboard. Josh, is it Hama? Robin Trower, Pepper Keenan. I mean, Lenny Kravitz, Phil Campbell from Motorhead. I mean, like we could literally do this stream for another hour with people mentioning. I know that's why I'm the Ace Frehley of streamers. Zero technical ability. Marty Friedman, Phil Campbell. It kicked me in the nuts one time, and Motorhead's management was going to fire him unless he apologized to me. And trust me, Todd and Shelley would have. He's kind of creepy, though, to be honest with you. I said, "Hey, man, you look just like Kane Roberts," because he had on this great fucking suit and like his shirt was unbuttoned, showing his muscles or whatever. He just fucking kicks me in the balls like hard. Fast Eddie Clark. I mean, you're a pro of utilizing a Ritz cracker wrapper. Big time, baby cakes. Big time, Mister Uncanny. Uh, yeah, Bill Campbell. Or I'm sorry, not Vivian Campbell. That's another guy you don't really think of as one of the all-time greats. Neil Schon, like that guy fucking rips. Um, and if you get into some of those bands, like REO Speedwagon and Chicago and um, Elliot Easton, the Cars, yeah, Def Leppard, Phil Collins, great player. That's tough. I mean, my old couch saw some action. Trust me on that one. I mean, it's a tie. It's a tie. I mean, Robin Crosby was a great rhythm guitar player, capable of doing leads. Terry Kath has one of my favorite songs on the Miami. I think it's you guys know this. And now maybe it's because of the meaning, William. But what do you mean, Jay Santos? What do you mean? What did I do? My internet's kicking right now. Um, the very last scene from the very last episode of Miami Vice, they play that Terry Kath song "Tell Me," and it's played over the highlight. They're doing like a montage of all the good scenes, and of course, a lot of the scenes are very emotional, like when Switek and Zito met, and Crockett and Tubbs met, and um, "Tell Me." It's such a good like. It's a very. You could probably find it on YouTube if you look up his name in Miami Vice. Yeah, I mean Santana is another guy. Uh, um, that you just wow. Um, Blink 182. I mean, those guys were good for the time. I mean, there's so many guys. Yeah, Jeff Hanneman. Who was the kid? Jason Becker that played with David Lee Roth. Steve Vai. We didn't even. All this guitar talk the last 10 minutes, and we don't say Steve Vai. Um, I'm trying to think who else. I wish I was a little old to play the kid in Over the Top. Yeah, I mean, Warren DeMartini, I think we mentioned. Did I fight back when Phil Campbell? Oh, no, all I told him was he looked like Kane Roberts. And then he fucking kicked me in the balls. Like, Ryan Roxy is a great guitar player. You never really hear his name. Go see Alice Cooper live, and you'll see Ryan and Nita and Tommy Hendrickson. That's a great three guitar attack. Um, Well, I mean, I think the best bass player, and I can't say she's underrated because everyone, musicians love her, is Tall Wilkenfeld, who played with Jeff Beck at 16. I mean, when you can play with Jeff Beck at 16 years old and keep up with him, it's not like, if you look up Jeff Beck, Tall Wilkenfeld, you'll see the clip. Um, you know, it, her playing's very impressive. She came on stage with me one night at the Comedy Store. It was my birthday, and well, actually, it was side stage, and where there was a piano, and she played "Lay It Down" on piano, and did it. I think she'd only heard the song in the parking lot when I played it for her, and she played "Lay It Down" on the piano to perfection. I mean, she is a musical uh, savant, if you will. Uh, Yeah, 100% Dominic. I mean, I think, Gene Simmons is I think Gene could have been a much better bass player than, um, he's thought of because he is, he's in about the money and the pussy, like, John Entwistle. I mean, we could do this over again with bass players and then drummers. Flea. I mean, we could maybe this is the key to super chats. For $2, name your favorite bass player. I'm just kidding. Um, but this is the kind of conversation I want in the stream. See, we're not talking. We haven't brought up the Dabbleverse once in an hour. And isn't everyone in a better mood? I mean, Kip Winger's a great bass player. Well, I mean, Rebel, I don't think that's possible, but I mean, uh, oh, thank you, Dom. Well, let me do this properly. Dominic, 4.99. Good show. Thank you very much, Dominic. Um, I mean, I try and make it a fun show, just interactive. People talk, and uh, you know, uh, I just want people to have an alternative to the. Yeah, I could have played the bully at the bus stop. Um, so Leslie West. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's well, he is a better bass player than or a better businessman than bass player. But you could tell in some of the early Kiss songs, like Plaster Caster is a great bass line. Do 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 do. Plaster Caster, grab a hold of me faster. If you wanna see my love, just ask her, and my love is perfection. and she wants my injection. What? I mean, what are you talking about? There's kids listening to these albums, you fucking pervert. Jordan, what's the holdup with selling off the hockey jerseys? I imagine you try them on and do post-fight monologues in the mirror. I mean, I've sold like 12 jerseys this weekend, but there's still a lot left. But that will pay for a new iMac and my Justin Hawkins setup, it's coming. It's coming. It's a lot. Ideally I would want there are auction houses that buy collections full, but um, unfortunately, when you reach out to them, they try and lowball you because obviously they want to sell for as much, they want to buy for as little as they can and then sell for as much as they can. And I don't want to bore you guys with auction house stuff, but um, what they do is they'll sell a jersey for say $500, but then they add their fee onto it, which is usually 18 to 20%. So if you're buying the jersey as a collector, not only do you have to pay the $500 for the jersey, which goes to me, but then you pay the 18%, which goes to them. So uh, I make more money selling on my own, to be brutally honest with you, but it's a pain in the ass because I gotta, like I just sold, I think, 8 shirts to this one collector, and it's great. But now I got to go to my guy. I have an 80-year-old Israeli guy who's just a master shipper, and hey, it's gonna help me make this stream look better. So who knows? I might even get another neon sign. Now, let me ask you guys this before we end the stream. And we're not, we'll go about 10 more minutes. If, oh, hold on, when you clear out that room, can Virgil move in? No, when I clear out that room, it's going to be the premier streaming podcast room in the world. Have you seen Vinnie Vincent lately? I have not, Dominic. Yeah, Claypool. I mean, Buckethead. Buckethead's fucking amazing. Uh, I never got into Sanctuary. Um, Sorry he died, though. Yeah, Cliff Burton. I mean, 14-inch dick, according to Virgil PP. Uh, who looks like your Aunt Liz? Hockey jerseys rock. Well, I have a large collection. I'm selling off the collection not because I need money, but I'm not into the hobby anymore. So I will be funding I don't ask for GoFundMe's or any of that bullshit. I will be using the funds from the jersey collection to update my podcast studio, streaming studio, and so it's all right, Doctor Nova. Be glad you are late because the beginning part of this stream was out of control. I have not watched. I will watch. I've got to catch up on Collision. I haven't watched the last two, but they are taped. So I will take Lois for a long walk. I will hop on my elliptical machine and um, watch Collision. I got the Slapshot jersey. Good for you, Johnny. If I were to get, let me ask you guys a question in chat. If I were to get another neon sign, say when I have an actual wall behind me, and who knows, I might just turn my desk that's facing this way, that way. I have a nice size wall right here. What would you want me to have as another neon sign? Maybe a caricature of my face. A daddy man, that would be a good one. Well, I think mama, 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 that'd be funny too. I do like daddy man. Maybe daddy man. Maybe Earl over my head, and then daddy man over there. I mean, the signs. Earlverse is another one. That sign was $496. Hello, it's Grimacing there. You guys are coming in with some good ones. I might take some. I might. I don't know how you spell hello. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not. the longest line at the Comedy Store right now, but, Dr. Nova, that should have been a super chat right there. How dare you? I can't read that for free. I'm gonna do my best Kevin Brennan. Dr. Nova, $5. Yeah, any, jokes about my family's court cases, $5 and up, or I don't read them. See, I'm learning. An hour and 5 minutes in, we're getting into the Dabbleverse, boom shakalaka. Battle, battle, battle. That would be funny if I had a roast battle neon sign. Fuck it. How do you spell hello? Is it two L's and two O's, or out of control would be a good one? I mean, who know? Maybe the background of my stream will look like a Vegas out of control. I mean, the Earl jam. I mean, so far, of course, with every letter, it gets more expensive. So, eight. I mean, that could be about $700. So, hmm, Daddy Man. I do like Daddy Man. Maybe I'll just start off with one Earlverse. Welcome to the Earlverse. Some good suggestions. Leather pants and Ritz crack. Maybe a Ritz cracker logo. Dabble versus for losers. That would probably cost about $1,000. But Dabble versus for losers. Be cool. Act like you've been here before. I mean, you guys are down with Dabble. Done with Dabble, maybe. No Palmers. You guys are coming up with some good ones, guys. I got to pay for all these. So how much to see the hog? So um, we'll go. Maybe Daddy Man will be the next one, and then we'll branch off into other. Uh, you want me to have a neon sign that says Pat Dixon? I mean, maybe. Well, it would be funny if I had a Ritz Cracker logo. There really are. See, this is a fun stream. We're all having fun here. All right. Well, because it's I wanted it in the rat font. That would be funny if I just had like a Shelby logo, a Ritz Cracker logo. I mean, I don't want the whole background to be neon, but I'm going to go in tomorrow and see what they can do. Um, I could hang a Ritz. I mean, I'm pretty close to having space upstairs where, and the sound will be great. Big girls are my jam. That's about $1,200. Can you do your Barry Ribs impression? I mean, I'll do it for free. This is a one-time only impression. After this, all impressions are $5 and up. $5 and up. It's my Barry Ribs impression. Pew! Earl's All Elite. That font you have on the Earls, it really is. I mean, if you look up the '80s metal band Rat, that is the inspiration for my um, Dominic. You're welcome. $1.99. You didn't have to. I said that one would be for free, so you can ask me to do one more impression for free, and then any more impressions. Uh, have to come at a tip of your choosing. So this one's for you, Dominic. I will do an Adam Henniker impression for you guys. That seems to be quite popular with the kids. So someone in chat ask me an MLC or ask me a tech question. Wheezy, that should have been $5. I can't read that. And that girl you're talking about would have had to get up the flight of stairs for me to push her down one. Oh, um, how do you snipe? I think you have to hit video sharing on your iMac, but it only works on StreamYard. It's my Adam Henniker. Right, all impressions now are have to be paid. Good night, Stagwar. Thank you very much. You still use disk C fragmenter. Oh wait, oh is that okay? That's another. That's the last Adam question. No, I still don't use disk defragmeister. I use Pro Tools now. Boing. Thank you, thank you. Well, I hope so. And let me thank. Speaking of the money, let me thank all my. You know, thank you, your Uncle Stokes, allegedly, but also real, Lulu, and Dominic for tipping your bartender. It's nice to be appreciated for my humor. Um, well, I don't know if I want a theme song just yet because I don't know. As you know, I'm the Ace Frehley of streamers. I'm sloppy, but I think I will have a thumbnail that says, um, going live, Earlverse stream. I might have to pay my guy Andrew Stovekin to do that. Oh my God, beloved chatter just gifted 5 Earl Skakel memberships. So, first of all, thank you, beloved chatter, and everyone, thank beloved chatter right now, please, um, because I realize that in these financial times, um, any money you guys tip me is appreciated. I don't take it lightly, so I try and put on a good show. Um, oh, really? I did not see that, Jordan. That's funny. Um, well, I mean, this is the community I want to build. And obviously, right now, we have 25 people in here, and I appreciate all 25 people in here. Um, but my goal for this stream is that, whether it be in a year or whatever, is to have hundreds of people just all coming here as a safe space of there's no drama, there's no roasting people, there's no talking about someone's kids or loved ones or whatever. You know, I just want you guys to, of course, Sunday nights will be my flagship show. And then usually I do a stream after Wednesday night AEW. And I do that because I'm trying to draw in the wrestling fans to come in and get in on the conversation. And that may be risky, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I mean, I want this to be like we're all at a bar talking. Um, yes, beloved chatter is a welcomed member in here. Send Gino Bisconti the link. I don't know if I could do that. I love Gino, but Ross, Ross Incognito 4.99. Thank you very much. Let me hit the heart button for that. Um, tell us about that legendary Lemmy Bo. It was pretty. It was pretty bad. But he had lost his sense of smell, so he had no idea. Um, like I took him once to the dentist. Now, my dentist at the time was in Westwood, which, if you're not familiar with the LA area, Westwood is about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on traffic, where I live. So Lemmy got in at 9 in the morning, and by the time I dropped him off, my car stunk. Like, it was bad. I had to get it detailed twice because it wasn't just BO. Like, I have BO after I play hockey, but you could still sit next to me and it's not disgusting. Uh, and then when I went back to my dentist about 6 p.m. because Lemmy had a lot of work to do in his bridge, and like it was pretty um uh, like his mouth was a wreck, and the whole office smelled like BO. Like, this is a pretty big dentist office. Like, he was dentist of the stars, more or less. Shout out to Dr. Michael. No, no, who was that? Yes, Dr. Michael Schneider in Westwood. I no longer go to him. I go to Shaylin McDonough, a comic, but he's a great dentist. So if you're in the Brentwood, Los Angeles area, I recommend them. Um, um, no, I don't know where David Caruso lived, Doctor, our beloved chatter. Um, but Lemmy lived maybe about 3 blocks to the west of where I live, right below the rainbow. But he lost his sense of smell, and his bridge kept falling out because all the speed he had done through the years. It was brutal. And Motorhead made their money touring, not necessarily on record sales. So he had to like have his teeth in like semi working order for him to make a living. Yes, Lemmy is the reason. Metallica, probably Megadeth, probably Slayer. Kerry King is a guitar player. Tom Araya, I mean, those are two other guys we didn't mention. Um, is that the real Gino Bisconte, or is it an imposter Gino Bisconte? Yes, he had Hitler's China. So when I would have to get Lemmy's mail and I had to see Hitler's China, being Jewish, I was uh, dude wore the shortest blue, yeah, biker, those jean shorts. Uh, um, well, I was in the store the other day. There's a great punk rock store on Melrose, Jordan. I'll have to get the name of it for you. And they had all these Dead Kennedy T-shirts with the swastika on, and I just Jay Santos, do you go to the Valley for anything? Not really. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think I looked at a few condos out that way because it's definitely more. You get more bang for your buck in the Valley. Yes, the Rainbow has the Lemmy statue, John, and that's right up the street from me. Well, Lemmy wasn't a Nazi either. He was just fascinated by the fucking culture and the history. He was more into the history of it. So, I think that's a common misnomer about Lemmy, that he was an actual Nazi. He was not. He just liked the history aspect of it. I mean, Melrose is going down pretty fast. I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that you would probably recognize is the Improv. I mean, that's never going anywhere. Um, trying to think. I mean, Shoe Palace is there. I think that was there when you were here. All right, Ben Jones. See you later, boss. I got to go myself pretty soon. I got to walk Lois. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The stores that are no longer there. I mean, there's a lot of release signs. I mean, the pandemic killed it. Even Cookies, the weed place, which might maybe like 2 years ago was bopping. They just shut down, but that was a big location. Um, I know what's the makeup store starts with a G. Glamour. That's pretty popular. Um, trying to think what else. I mean, a lot of like boutique sandwich shops, they're gone. It's kind of sad. I mean, I walk Lois sometimes there late at night, and man, release. I mean, Urban Outfitters is still there. I think the problem with a lot of stores on Melrose, like Urban Outfitters used to be packed, but now not so much, is, online, Amazon. So many people, the Starbucks is still there. That does pretty good, but it's just, and really, even if you go in Beverly Hills on Wilshire, Barney's is gone. You got to understand, Barney's was the epicenter of my shopping for a decade. And, just online, people want to go on. I like touching a jacket and putting it on, but, online has killed retail. The Macy's men's store is now set to open as a Gold's Gym, if you can believe that. Um, well, I see. I disagree, Jordan. I think parking's pretty good on Melrose because the side streets are not permit, so you can get really good parking even on a Saturday. They're not the meters are tough, and I think there's a lot of crime on Melrose because what I've noticed is I think a lot of the smash and grab robbers, they set up shop on Melrose out of their car, and I've seen young kids open up a trunk with all these shoe boxes in them from, you know, places like Supreme that they fucking did a smash and grab on, and they sell the shoes out of the trunk. And, it's kinda the Wild West. It's, like, so unregulated that the cops really can't. I don't know what law they're breaking. I mean, 'cause other than stealing the shoes in the first place, but, like, I guess you could sell shit. Uh, so, yeah, I mean, but they just opened up a pretty nice Foot Locker right across the street, or it's on the same side of the street, but across from Fairfax High. That seems to be doing really good. The Shoe Palace is always pretty full. Uh, but I think a lot of those stores, and I'm talking to Jordan mainly, just from the standpoint if he knows where this is, in that area between like on Melrose, between say Crescent Heights and La Brea, a lot of them are money laundering. Like there's never anyone in them, but they're open. I mean, the Adidas store, that's not a money laundering store, but like it's never really crowded, to be honest with you. Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm a guy who's selling, let's say I have let's say YSL or Barbados was looking at moving into that area I'm talking about, I would take one look around and go, no thanks. I mean, the Barbados I used to go to, it used to be on Robertson and Melrose. It's beautiful, like beautiful corner lot, but now it's Louis Vuitton, and Barbados is a block east on Melrose. So that's a pretty nice area still. Um, but not many businesses are open still. Yeah, I mean the rent's got to be high, but it's the crime. I mean, I walked Lois the other night from my house. I'm basically on Santa Monica and San Vicente. For those of you who are familiar with the LA area, I walked Lois from there to La Brea. I shoot down um, to Melrose and walk up Melrose back to my house. Um, and I walked pretty late at night, and I'm not going to say I was nervous, but you definitely got to be on your toes because the LA County psych hospitals, they just drop people off in that neighborhood. I've seen it with my own eyes where you can see the hospital bracelets and they just drop them off and they fucking just wander around like it's the fucking Wire meets Battlestar Galactica. Um, well, sometimes I do take Lois. I go west on foot and I walk her through Beverly Hills. There's a really nice street called Oakhurst, which is about a mile from my home. And she likes to walk through the big yards on that street. Um, so that's very safe because there's no homeless. Um, and I walk by Dantana's, one of my favorite eateries. I walk by the Troubadour. Um, Okay, yeah, I mean, this part of Oakhurst is, I think, north from where she lived. I mean, I would say the average price of these homes on Oakhurst, it's the 4 to 700 block. You could go on Zillow and look up, just put in any number, like, I think the nicest house I like is 715 Oakhurst in Beverly Hills, and it's, I think, $10 million. So it's, and of course, you know, the, so the 700 block's the top block just below Sunset. I can only imagine what the houses cost above Sunset on Oakhurst. I mean, you're talking 15, $20 million easily. Where are you thinking of moving? Well, as you know, Jordan, the valley is bigger bang for the buck. I mean, my condo is worth about 1.1 million. I'm not saying that to brag or whatever, it's just what it's worth. This condo in, say, Studio City would be 900 grand. So, and you take any condo in Studio City that's 900 grand, you move it to this area, it's 1.1. So you definitely get more value uh, for your money in the valley, but you also got to live in the valley. All right, we're gonna go 5 more minutes, and then Lois is giving me the look that she got to go pee pee. I've met Nikki Six, nice enough guy. You could tell he thinks of himself as like the poor man Gene Simmons. Well, I mean, let me put it this way. So one realtor I'm working with, he sent me a list of homes for 1.1 because he was like, you basically you don't want to spend any money buying a new home. You just want to trade, basically do a condo or a condo for house trade. I'm like 100%. He's like, these are the homes you could live in. They were all in Compton, and he wasn't kidding. So a 1.1, but if you get a condo in the valley, you can get a basically an updated version of what I live in now. So I'd be down for that. But I love this area, like, that's the rub, like, I really like West Hollywood. I don't like the crime and the homelessness, because West Hollywood's only a 1.9 square mile, area. So, it's very crowded. It's overdeveloped. The traffic with all the construction is crazy. I mean, there's probably if I when I walk Lois right now, what time is it? It's 8:50. I bet you when I walk outside, there will be traffic. Hello, Dat Pixon coming in hot. Was that the real Gino Bisconti in chat? I couldn't tell. I'm assuming it's a fake one. Uh, yeah, I mean, in the South, I mean, if I moved, I mean, where Chandler's parents lived, I don't want to dox them, but they lived in Alabama, Huntsville. Like 1.1 could get me a mansion in Huntsville. But then you gotta live in Huntsville, like, I don't have any friends there, so, that's the rub. But you could be like Jordan, move to Florida and make your own friends, and now he's probably Jordan can answer this, probably happier there than he was here. That's real Gino. Oh, wow. The Gino Bisconti, he's a lurker. So we got, 2 more minutes, guys, so if you got any questions, yeah, I mean, I could move to, like, Cartersville, Georgia, where my mom lived, and, for 1.1, I could probably buy a very nice size house, not a mansion, but for 600-700 grand, and pocket the other 500-600 grand after taxes, and invest, or I don't know, whatever. I could go to Austin. I mean, Austin, but then I'd have to live around a bunch of people I didn't like in Los Angeles. Dat Pixon, $2. Wish Pat had you on last night over that dud MKE. I don't know who MKE is. Um, so my favorite drummer, Dominic. All right, we got a couple. We'll do 2 more minutes. Um, favorite drummer. I like Prairie Prince from the Tubes. I'm not saying he's my favorite drummer, but he's like the first name that pops up. My friend Brent Fitz, who just left today from Mexico to drum Slashes. He's in Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. If you check out, forget what number episode it was Inappropriate Earl, but I had the conspirators on my podcast. Um, Eric Carr, I like. I mean, that would be popular. Live from Buffalo Bill's basement. Your Royal Rumble winner. I'm not really following it. I mean, it ain't gonna be Seth Rollins. I'll tell you that much. Hello, Jordan. Stop it. Stop it. Well, my vision is so bad. I have to go right to the super chat. Days with Jordan the Lion, and once again, check out Jordan's travel vlog, the number one travel vlog on YouTube. And Jordan moved out to LA from Ohio. And fucking, he could have stuck it out here in LA, but he said, "Fuck this place." Goes to Florida and now has a top YouTube channel. Like literally had less subscribers than me at one point, and now he's got what, Jordan? What do you have? 300,000. Days for Jordan the Line, $5. Stay away from the 55 and over communities. Pew! Hello. Yeah, you're right on that. Yeah, I mean, Palm Springs would be a killer play. I kind of like Palm Springs. I mean, or Palm Desert, I guess. The babies, you can't go along with the, John Waite and the babies. Um, but I don't really. That's why I think that's why I like Palm Desert, Palm Springs, because every time I've been there, it's been very relaxing because I don't know anyone there. And I'm not saying I get mobbed when I walk the streets of California, but like, I'll walk Lois right now. I'll run into at least 5 people I know. So I got to stop and bullshit and talk with them. And house live, yeah, house comedy, abity, 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 abity. Palm Desert, I can go to Whole Foods. I can know one person there. I can, put some tanning butter on my gonads and just have a nice life. All right. Any last minute questions, guys? I know a couple of people that live in the desert. I mean, I love that community. Now it's very hot there, William. That's the only fly in the ointment with Palm Springs or Palm Desert. It's very fucking hot. I don't have the wardrobe to live in the desert. I don't think leather jackets and leather pants is good for the desert. Yes, and on old school stand up comedy tomorrow, Christy Miller and I chop it up. Please, I think she sent me the link. Good night, Lulu. Thank you very much for the. I'll send out the link tomorrow on for old school comedy with me and Christy Miller, one of my dearest longtime friends. Let me thank all my tippers tonight one last time because I do like them to feel appreciated and welcomed. Thank you, your Uncle Stokes, allegedly but also real. Lulu Bell for becoming a member. Dominic, beloved chatter for gifting 5 memberships. Ross Incognito, Dat Pixon, and my good buddy Days with Jordan the Lion. Check out his travel vlog. Very sorry about the technical difficulties. Well, I don't know what the village is. Oh, you mean where you live, Jordan? Well, set it up. Maybe I'll do it there. Fuck it. We'll do a stream. Well, I'll probably do one before Wednesday, but for sure Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Trying to get the wrestling freaks in here, get them going, and we'll talk to you guys then. Thank you again for the listening, the shares, and all that stuff. I'm the little stream that could, but I promise you, within a year, hopefully even 6 months and under, I'll have a background that's better. And the sound will be better. I'm waiting for the cable, but I will be talking into this mic from now on. Hopefully, my stream will sound better, and then audio wise, I'm confident that will happen. Visually, because of the shitty internet, we're gonna have nights like tonight in the beginning, but it's a bummer because I think we were getting up to close to 40 people, and then I had to start and stop a few times. And I get, that's the problem when you go on when other people are streaming too. They just go to that stream, but I get it. So I do apologize for the wonkiness of the stream. And yeah, I mean, there's several things. I mean, I might do a watch along with, on Commando with Bob Biggerstaff. I love Bob, and I'm glad he's doing healthier. We might do some old school wrestling pay per view watch parties, but those enable for us to all have to watch at the same time. So that gets a little wonky. I would love to do and they're also like 3 or 4 hours, those old school pay per views, like Capital Combat. Uh, I'm fucking up the name of the podcast I'm on tomorrow. Christy just sent me a link. It is Old School News School Comedies. That's OldSchoolNews comedy. Um, so I will be on that tomorrow, and I will send the links and everything. So look forward on my Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to put up a. Christy just sent me a thing. So if you check out my story right now that I'm just hitting on, check it out. Bob, I love Bob Biggerstaff. He's the fucking best. So Earl Skakel rides again. Yeah, yeah, we might do one for Cobra, but to do a watch along, it inquires, like, say there's 19 people in here right now. All 19 people would have to be watching Cobra at the exact same time. And so if anyone's a little off or they're not watching, you know, so maybe I will, if we do a Cobra or Commando watch along, I will say any non Cobra or Commando questions will have to be super chat or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying not to gouge my fans, but I'm also trying to provide a good product that people, my whole goal with you guys is to get you to want to come back, whether you tip or not. I want to put on a good show. I've always cared more about the performance than making money. So someone would have to get me the script from Cobra. I would. Jordan might know how to do that. If someone could send me the script, I'll pay for the shipping. And I would do a live table read. Maybe me and Jordan could do it. We'll figure it out. But I want to do some fun stuff. I just want this to be a casual stream, a couple times a week, and I hope that you guys enjoy what I'm doing. Uh, like it's like this is like my comedy. I want to be the funniest comic on every lineup I'm on, and that definitely isn't the case. But I care about the comedy, so I care about the streaming. And I appreciate you guys. Um, that would be funny, William Zoom. If someone could get me the address, I might try and do that. Well, I saw. It's funny you say that, Doctor Nova. Before I go, I saw Michael Fassbender at the Montreal Comedy Festival. They did a live table read of The Big Lebowski, and he memorized all his, like, he didn't look at the script once. I was like, God damn, this guy's out of control. OOC. So I love you guys. I appreciate you sticking with me through the how should I say, but I was just impressed that he was like, he literally would just look at whoever he was supposed to be speaking to in the scene, and I was like, wow, this guy's a fucking actor. Um, and this is when we did the untelevised season of Roast Battle, when me and my uh, girlfriend at the time, well, we had broken up, but we still agreed to do the show. Whitney Rice. We were the house haters. I wasn't roasting yet. And Michael Fassbender walked up to me after the show. He's like, "You're a great racist." I'm like, it's just a character. And then he kind of walked away. That's also the season of Roast Battle where I said Aaron Rodgers was sitting right in front of the heckler's table. And Moses told me to go after him. So I was like, "Hey, Moses, you look a lot like those receivers Aaron Rodgers overthrows." And Aaron Rodgers looked at me like, "Fuck you, man. I make about 12 million a year, bitch." Out of control there, Pat Dixon. Whitney Rice, white or brown? White. Jews tend to be really good racists. Hey, come on now, Dominic. Play it cool. Play it cool. All right, you guys. Earl Skakel. Uh, Someone get me the address for Stallone's apartment in Cobra, and I'll get the wheels greased on that. Earl Skakel over and out.